Podcast. Here we're going to discuss what's going on in electric vehicles, green energy, and the stock markets. I have Pro Trader Mike with me today, and I just want to say that the news we provide is for entertainment purposes only, and this is a supplement to the information we have changing daily with news on evworld.com. How's it going today, Mike?
Excellent today. Thank you for asking. I'm in trading mode today, so it's midweek. Wish it was Friday, but that'll come soon enough. What's happening in the electric space? I
Well,
see some news and topics coming out with some big companies.
we'll get something kind of interesting today. So, the Chevy has been kind of up and down with the Bolt on how much they like it and don't like it. And what they've decided to do is GM's CEO Mary Barra has said that it's official. They're going to bring it back, but it's going to be different than the one that's going out of production this year. And it's interesting to see that her reasoning was our customers love the Bolt, and we've been delivering record sales and some of the highest customer satisfaction and loyalty scores in the industry. It's also an important source of conquest sales for the company and for Chevrolet.
How much
80
is that car?
it's generally
20.
below $30,000.
Yeah,
And then when you add the
that's a good market, you know.
Yeah, when you start adding the rebates in there, especially if you live in California where they have the extra state rebates, these cars get pretty cheap. Anyways, um, the 80% of Bolt buyers plan on sticking with the brand. And what's interesting is 70% of Bolt buyers were trading in non-General Motors vehicles. So it's been a really good, car for GM to get people to come from other brands to them, which has probably been quite exciting. They've sold 33,659 already this year, which is a huge improvement over last year when they only sold 7,300. This means that the Bolt sold more than some other key nameplates, including the Chevy Blazer, the Colorado truck, the Suburban, and the Trax. And it's interesting.
Nice.
They're
Let's play
adapting.
that video.
Oh yeah, let's see what we get here.
Hey there, it's Greg from Autoblog. I wanted to show you this 2023 Chevy Bolt EUV, which is the slightly longer version of the Chevy Bolt. So it's got a little more legroom inside. It's pretty comfortable inside. It's a bigger cabin than it would appear from the outside. This particular car is a premier trim, which is nicer trim level, and it's got this red line accent package, which includes these wheels that look like they came off of a Dodge. Anyway, um, this car is about 38 grand MSRP with destination charge, and it.
Well, that's pretty good. About 38 grand the way that one's set up. It's a nice looking vehicle. Um, I'm not familiar with the electric utility vehicle is a new twist, calling it an EUV, but I thought that was quite fascinating.
Mhm.
And I was telling you before the show, I'm going to get introduced to the gentleman who created the Chevy Bolter, got GM to adopt it years ago. So I'm kind of excited about that. Maybe I'll get him on for an interview at some point in the future.
Well, at least General Motors is keeping up to speed. They're adapting and changing and keeping up with the times.
No, they are.
It
Let's take a
still
look.
needs to be. I think it still needs to be dropped down in price, though. 38,000 for the common person to buy a car is still pretty expensive.
It is, but then you get the $7,500 federal rebate, and then if you're in California, it's about 5,000 more. And
Okay.
so it depends on the country.
Yeah, if you
California is
can get
far
in
more
for
aggressive.
$200 to $300 a month payment on on an electric car that the common person can drive around with, and have the choice versus electric versus regular with the same price, I think people would probably choose the electric. But to save money, they would jump to the gas.
Well, if you look at the difference, you live in Florida, and you look at how many people drive electric in Florida versus if you go to California. I mean, it's night and day. You have a lot of electric vehicles. You see them, especially now that we're looking at them more. But when you go to California, it's just a huge, huge chunk of that market. Hey, do you want to take a look at the General Motors stock? It's really good to look at the 1 year because it's got a nice growth, something like 13, 14% for the past year.
Yeah, let's take a look. I'll share my screen. Good old General Motors, companies that built America. So in the top right corner of your bookmark, you could see 3 check marks. If you open that up, then you can see plus and minus, and you can zoom your screen in, people, if you don't know how to do that. You learn a new tech trick every day. Let's go. So here's the action on General Motors. 2-week trend on visitors is up 10 weeks and 9 months. Let's go to the advanced chart on this thing. Nice. So today it's really dropped out of bed today. Let's take a look at the 6-month. Here's the 6-month and the year to date. All right, year to date, it's come from 32, went to 40, high is 42, and it's chilling. Looks like it's a little cup and handle right here. So on a bullish, so that's a bullish formation right there.
Well, for years, people used to say if it's good enough for GM, it's good enough for everyone.
Yeah. So here you got your little cup and your handle, and the handle is supposed to go down like that. So the next move could possibly be right up here with a tight stop. I'd place this as your stop right here. So you know you're wrong. You're playing it for this move. So if it does that, you're wrong. That's your stop. So you're risking this little circle. See that little circle versus this whole big circle. So the reward is bigger than the risk. Look at the size of the circles. Pretty done easy for the common person to understand that.
Yes, it is. And thank you for explaining that, Mike.
There you go.
All right, let's move on to our next story. We're going to talk a little bit about the path to sustainable battery recycling. And there's people out there trying to bring the amount of battery waste to zero. And this has been one of the big things, like when all these EVs are used up, what's going to happen with the batteries? I hear people comment all the time that I think the general public thinks they can't be recycled, and it couldn't be farther from the truth. I've had people reach out to me. I even have friends here in Nebraska who own a facility in Vietnam that'll recycle batteries. And so they've been asking me about finding batteries to recycle to ship to Vietnam. So I know that there's a lot of this. But this article I'm going to show here is about German cars. The number of electric cars on German roads increased to 1 million in 2022. This company, Zero, aims to reduce battery waste to zero. This is kind of interesting. And because Germany's been a big adapter of electric cars. Worldwide, there's 26 million EVs on the road so far. And one of the key technologies has been the lithium ion batteries. And let's see, in the Roadmap Battery Production Equipment of 2030 report, the report says that in addition to technological aspects, the relevance of sustainability of battery production has only increased. And this is really relevant to Europe, but the goal is to reduce CO2 emissions. The production of battery cells, including the raw materials, is responsible for a large part of that environmental impact. And then you always hear this discussion when people are talking about, well, EVs, you create a waste in the environment when you do this, and there's more and more use cases of people trying to clean that aspect up. Increasing material and energy efficiency in the production process must be essential. So Munich-based startup Zero explains that their vision is to reduce battery waste to zero with the help of a chemical recycling process. To achieve this, the startup has opted for an innovative approach. And unlike the conventional pyrometallurgical process, they rely on energy saving and a material rich hydrometallurgical process. Some big words there I have trouble pronouncing. Anyways, let's see what we got here. We have some diagrams here talking about the insides of the battery, and it makes it possible to produce materials in Europe that would otherwise not be available simply because of the recycling. The largest cobalt reserves are in the Congo, which is a politically unstable country. And then as far as lithium, we've got Chile, China, and Australia. And I know, like in the US, if you're trying to get a an electric car and you want the federal rebates, the biggest part is where the battery, lithium, and other components come from. Most of them, there's a specific 20 countries, I believe, that we need the parts to come from, at least a certain percentage of the battery to be eligible for the federal rebates. And every year, those numbers tighten up. It's like on a scaling thing where eventually they want the materials to come from the United States predominantly. Anyways, it'd be interesting to see with how this hydro metallurgical process can go as far as making it easier to recycle and reuse the battery processes. Anyways, so much for that. That was all I really wanted to cover today. We didn't have a whole lot of stock coverage. You had,
Sounds good.
yeah. So, anyways, a short day today. Mike, as always, thanks for being on here. And I want to remind everybody that we do have more news articles, typically about 100 a day, that are available by RSS stream from the evworld.com website as well.
Hey
Mike?
guys, yeah, and give us a like and a thumbs up on the video, guys. If you watch this, give us a thumbs up. The reason why that happens is because if you like it, the algorithm on YouTube will say, hey, I'm searching for EV. They'll show our video because you liked it. So we appreciate you for watching. We appreciate the like and the thumbs up, and we'll catch you on the next show. Hit that notification bell so when we go live, you get notified.